Well, Vic, you know we're way high on the Giants and Eli Manning right now.
Fired up.
And this is kind of part 2 of another
I'm
conversation
fired up.
you might have seen. Still fired up. Doesn't matter when this is done. World champs, Eli Manning. But let's talk a little bit about the another quarterback.
Broke the code.
Broke the code. Your guy, Kurt Warner, you wrote a great post about it. And but for the people who maybe can't read, just like watching videos, maybe just caught this on YouTube, haven't been to the Fitz and Vic site.
They can't read.
Can't read. I mean, who needs to read when you got computers nowadays? And with these videos, when you got YouTube.
Sure.
What did Kurt Warner say about Eli, and why do we have such a problem with that jerk for what he said?
Yes. So Kurt Warner was interviewed shortly after Super Bowl 46 and asked...
Which we won, where we beat the New England Patriots. Again, right?
That's right.
Again, okay.
That's right. Second time in 5 years.
That's right.
So Kurt Warner was shortly after Super Bowl 46. Kurt Warner was asked by a radio station in Phoenix, where he, had his second coming for the Arizona Cardinals. So he was asked, or he was told, well, what do you think of the idea that Eli Manning is now a shoo-in for Canton?
Right.
And Kurt Warner's response was, I totally disagree with that. Eli's been too inconsistent throughout his career. Eli Manning, although he's, I love this argument, although he's won 2 Super Bowls, he has not, other than those 2 seasons, has never won a playoff game. That's like saying, other than the 2 times he climbed Mount Everest, he's never gone mountain climbing.
Right.
All right, so, and so basically it was trying to knock down Eli and say he's been too inconsistent, and it actually threw out, as a former quarterback, threw out quarterback rating as evidence. That's like A-Rod talking about how he's better than Jeter because his batting average is higher than Jeter. You just don't do that. You don't throw numbers out to say why you're a better quarterback than another quarterback.
Right.
As a QB. All right, so the reason why I got such a problem with that is a few different reasons. Number one, Eli is exactly 5,000 yards and 20-plus touchdowns away from catching Warner's career stats in the NFL.
Right.
That's number one, right? So basically next year, Eli's going to
have
have
another dominant season for Eli. Done. He's there.
Done. He's got Warner's stats.
He'll definitely have the touchdown record. He'll have 20 touchdowns. The yards. Hey, you know what? 4,800 yards brings us close enough.
Exactly. I'm not going to go through all 8 pieces of evidence, but the second really important thing in my mind was the fact that Kurt Warner honed his craft for 4 of his what would have been crappy NFL seasons, low quarterback rating seasons. He honed his craft in the AFL.
Right.
So he was out there playing for the Iowa Barnstormers, literally. Iowa Barnstormers. That's not the Mudcats. So he goes out there, plays for 4 years for the minor leagues, comes in, hits the ground running. He can't take anything away from the fact that Kurt Warner had a greatest show on turf, good run with them, then went out to Arizona, good run with them. Struggled in New York in his one season in New York. So for the 4 years that he was in the minors, Eli cut his teeth in the NFL having low quarterback ratings.
Agreed. And just to kind of harp on that a little bit more, if you want to look at Eli's freshman year, when he came into the league, who was the quarterback of the Giants?
Warner.
Kurt Warner. What happened about game 10 of that season?
Warner lost his job.
Warner lost his job to Eli Manning as a rookie, okay? Once again, a guy with no, rookie or first year practice under his belt, none of that full season getting beat up playing 16 games. By game 10, he had earned the starting spot for the New York Giants, and he earned that position. So if you're going to say, if we're just going to try to compare those 2 head-to-head, and Warner's pining for a Hall of Fame spot himself, don't forget that, how can Warner, compare himself to Eli in that regard? He should be saying that Eli is a surefire Hall of Famer, just for Kurt Warner to have a chance of being a Hall of Famer. If you ask me, I mean, that's the truth, really is. I mean, people underestimate, the 4 years in the AFL and say, hey, those stats don't count, which they shouldn't, and they don't. But it was still, like you said, time for him to hone his craft and make that transition from college to the NFL. And he had that. Eli did not. Eli was thrown into the fires, handled it, did not get hurt, played solidly, and now he's just getting better and better and better. And he's a 2-time Super Bowl champion and MVP, things of which Kurt Warner cannot say.
Kurt Warner was favored in 2 Super Bowls, won 1 Super Bowl.
Right.
Eli Manning was the underdog in 2 Super Bowls, won 2 Super Bowls.
Yeah.
Eli Manning played in the elements, in Meadowlands.
Right.
The second worst windy stadium behind Candlestick Park back in the day in the NFL.
Yeah.
Warner played in the dome.
That's a huge one.
Warner played in the dome.
When you're talking, exactly, you're talking about greatest show on turf, you're talking about those 4,800-yard passing yards. When you're playing in St. Louis in a dome, 8 games, and then, okay, your other games are in a dome in Arizona? I mean, come on. That's not like playing outside, not doing what Manning's doing in the NFC East. What he's doing, regardless of the numbers, what Manning is doing is a better performance than Warner. When you throw in the fact that his numbers are nearly the same, I mean, there's no comparison now at this point. Eli Manning is the better quarterback.
And Kurt Warner's one season as a New York Giant had an 86.5 quarterback rating, lower than Eli's last 3 seasons. So for me, it's you're arguing the greatest show on turf / Arizona. I'm a dome guy,
Right.
versus a guy who actually plays in the elements.
Right. And there's no question. I mean, we know our answer. If you're watching this video, you know your answer.
Kurt Warner's just a jackass.
Kurt Warner needs to shut up.
He's a jackass.
That was great. That was great.
Did you like the photo that I photoshopped there of him in Dancing with the Stars? All like.